Good morning and welcome. This is TMI Socials and I am Anuluwakbo Stevens. I better still call me a social media butterfly. Now this morning we begin in Lagos State, Nigeria, where the former presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, has described Nigeria as a lawless country following the alleged illegal demolition of his younger brother's company property in Ikeja, Lagos State. In a statement released yesterday via his official Facebook page, Obi decried the increasing disregard for rule of law and civil rights in the country, warning that Nigeria's deteriorating human rights indicators and weak institutional protection could deter both local and foreign investment. And now those were the pictures flying all over social media, but let's quickly listen to Obi.
You can see things that are here. Nobody could remove anything. Is that how I come to work? They just came suddenly, started demolition. You know, if my brother didn't have a brother like me, they would. He wanted to enter here. They say, no, you can't enter. We have court injunction. What about court injunction that allows somebody to enter into another person's property, refuse him for removing his keys and everything, and demolishing everywhere? What about court injunction is that? We are finished in the country. Here, you can see things that.
Well, may we not be finished in Nigeria, but it's really sad. As at this morning, we've not heard anything from the Lagos State government regarding this whole story. But we'll see how you took this on social media. We'll start off with this user who wrote on X. Okay, so Peter Obi's tweet on X says, any society where lawlessness overrides the rule of law is not destined to be a heaven for investors. Recent reports showing that Nigeria's human rights indicators have worsened merely highlight severe shortfalls in government protection for civil liberties, personal security, and basic living standards. And he went on and on. But we'll move over to other reaction on this sad story. This one says, a banana republic, no demolition order, no court document addressed to anybody. Our leaders in this country now go into people's homes unannounced to demolish it and then run away. Since Peter Obi ran for presidential election, it has been from one attack to the other, and now they are attacking his family. This is unacceptable. Tyranny has been used to replace politics. This is not democracy, and we would not take this anymore. Enough is enough. Well, finally, on the story, this user says, this story must be investigated because I don't believe you. No one will just ask for demolition without proper findings. And then he copied Tokumbo Wahab. We need answers here, right there in Lagos, Nigeria. Well, we'll keep you up to speed regarding the story. Away from that, now remember this particular co-member, Rhea, who once trended, to let you know that the National Youth Service Corps has extended the service year of co-member Rita O'Shea, popularly known as Rhea on Instagram, by 2 months as punishment for publicly criticizing President Bola Tinubu's administration. Now, Ray, who had just 1 month left in her service, gained national attention in March this year after posting a viral video on TikTok lamenting Nigeria's worsening economic conditions and describing the Tinubu-led government as terrible. But just in case you've forgotten about the video, let's take a listen.
I genuinely feel so overwhelmed, and I feel like if a lot of Nigerians come out and start speaking on what we are actually going through, then maybe changes will be made. Don't you guys think? And this video, I just want to say to our president, I don't know if there have been any other president that is terrible, but you are such a terrible president. It is so hard. So I'm coming from the supermarket where I went to get foodstuffs, and everything has gone up again. It's just like every single week prices increase. I want to know, what is the government doing about this increment? Is there going to be a particular time where prices will stop going up? Is there going to be a particular time where things are going to go back? Guys, why am I going to get a crate of egg and they're telling me it is 6.5? It doesn't make any sense that egg will cost 6.5. Like, I literally can't remember when egg used to cost 800. And I'm so
Quite emotional, if you ask me. The video trended in March, and just as we did say earlier, her service here has been extended allegedly because NYSC hasn't come out to confirm or say anything regarding this particular story. But we'll move over to netizens' tweet and reaction online. We'll start off with this one who says, "Shebe then go still they pay her alawi. I pray never." Well, another user responded says, "But let's be for real. What is the NYSC? What is that NYSC certificate used for? Someone explain to me like a toddler." Okay, well, still on this one, this user wrote on Instagram, "I was expecting that. I know say them go give her extension without pay." Anyway, we'll keep you up to speed regarding the latest development right there in Ray's story. Away from that, we'll move over to another interesting story where yesterday we saw the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun. He has announced the arrest of 26 persons suspected to be masterminds of the killings in Yelwata, Benue State. While addressing news conference yesterday in Abuja, the IGP said the police were on the heels of other suspects who participated in the Yelwata killings that led to the death of 47 persons. Let's take a listen to the IGP.
June, 2 prime suspects who were masterminds of this attack were apprehended from their hideout. This arrest led to the arrest of 7 other suspects the following day, 20/06/25. They were picked up from their various locations where they had fled, hoping to evade justice. On 21st June, another key suspect, in whose house the initial meeting to plan the attack was held, was also arrested. On 22nd June, a major breakthrough was recorded with the arrest of 18 other suspects who directly took part in the killings. Similarly, on 22nd of June 2025, a heartbreaking incident occurred in Benue, Plateau State, where a bus conveying passengers from Zaria was stopped and attacked by a mob. Tragically, 9 of the passengers were murdered and 3 sustained injuries before our teams could intervene and rescue the remaining 22 suspects, 22 victims. So far, 22 suspects have also been arrested in connection with this gruesome act of mob violence.
Now, the big question is, which story or what story are we going to believe? Because earlier in the news, all over social media and other media outlets, it was said that 200 persons died. Now, the IGP is coming out to say it's just 47 persons that were killed in the Benue incident. But anyway, we'll move over to your tweet and reaction. We'll start off with this user on X. Big talk. You think the people will wait for you to come and arrest them? By the way, where did you arrest them? Forest or their homes? Just asking for a friend. Another user responding, the idea of reducing the figures of the dead is to what end? Damage control? I wish I knew. We lost over 200, but it has been reduced to 47. Even if it was 7, should it be happening? May God give us directions in Nigeria. Amen. Now, finally, on the story, this user wrote, you waited for president to ask for it before swinging into action? Well, remember last week when the president ordered him to make arrest, and of course he has done that already. Well, away from that, let's move over to the foreign scene where we actually got to see the US President Donald Trump yesterday saying that both Israel and Iran violated a ceasefire he announced hours earlier. He said he was not happy with either of the country, but especially Israel. While speaking to reporters before leaving for the NATO summit in The Hague, Trump said Israel unloaded right after agreeing to the deal. He also said Iran's nuclear capabilities are gone. Take a listen to Donald Trump.
They don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that? I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that.
Donald Trump, American president, right there. Now we'll move over to reactions on this story. This one wrote, Trump announced a ceasefire, but Israel and Iran ignored him. More importantly, 400 kilograms of highly enriched uranium is now missing in Iran, and we don't know where it is. The only bomb Trump is dropping now are F-bomb. Was Trump used by Netanyahu? If you know, you know. Finally, on the story, this user says, at least he is talking directly to the citizens in his own words, not the case of what we have over, what do you mean over here or over there? But anyway, we'll move away from that. While still staying on the foreign scene, the founder of the civil bird group, Ben Bruce, has suggested that a future global conflict, potentially World War III, will devastate much of the world, but leave Africa, particularly Nigeria, untouched. Take a listen.
In big trouble. And as long as we have the kind of leaders we have in the world today, yes, I see World War III coming, and it's going to be terrible. The beauty of World War III is it's not going to affect Africa, right? Africa will be spared. You guys are going to fight all across the world, but we're going to be safe in Nigeria. Nobody's going to be fighting in Nigeria because we have no territorial ambition. We have no...
Did you see the interviewer there laughing like, Mr. Man, do you even know what you're talking about? Well, I'll move over to a couple of reactions on the story. We don't want any war at all right here in the world. Please, Morris Bruce. Well, this user respondent says, okay, let me go renew my Niger passport since Nigeria would be safe. Well, Jenny Keshi says, the way we are living in this country, are we safe? We get to what we think, no, guy, what are you saying? Now, finally, on the story, this user says, he said it's not going to affect Africa. The way he talks sometimes, he thinks this is 1998. Anyone that happens, Africans will be dragged into it. Well, finally, on TMI socials, a stunning political and traditional shakeup. The Adamawa state government has officially stripped Nigeria's former vice president, Atiku Abubakar, of his title as the Waziri Adamawa, citing non-indignity, a move widely seen as a calculated effort to diminish his political influence in his home state. Now, the Waziri Adamawa is the second highest in authority after the paramount ruler, the Lamido of Adamawa. That was the memo that went viral on social media. Well, let's have two reactions quickly on this interesting story. Oliver Praise on Instagram wrote, stripping Atiku of a traditional title won't erase his legacy or silence his voice. Politics shouldn't reduce institutions of honor to tools of personal rivalry. Now, finally, this other user wrote, it's quite fair. You cannot hold a chieftaincy title and you don't participate in the running of the Council of Chiefs. Now, it's an ongoing conversation. Atiku Abubakar hasn't reacted to this, but we'll keep you up to speed regarding the latest development on the story. That's how we wrap up TMI Socials this morning. Big shout out to you for being a part of the show. I am Anuoluwapo Stevens. From all of us on This Morning on ITV, Lagos, Abuja, and right here in the Delta State, have yourself a beautiful day ahead.